with us. 94 feet of life. All five guards are here. This is the History of 94 Feet podcast with a little bit of spliced in trade deadline talk, college hoop talk, and whatever else. But we want to bring this to everybody so y'all can see where this all came from. I am Big Shot Ron. Usually I introduce the fellas. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves on this one because we got everybody, we hear everybody. So whoever want to introduce themselves first, go ahead.
Y'all know what it is, man. It's your boy Trav, man. Live down south, man. It's about that time, man. All five guard rotation in the building, man. Shooting this, keeping this down south. Here go my guy. Talk to the people here. Let them know what's good. Oh,
you on mute, B?
You on mute? You on mute? You on mute? We're gonna get you going, but we're gonna shoot this back up. Going with the mic and drill. Oh, he stopped doing the mic and drill.
Man, we back, man.
He's back.
I just need to hit 10 in a row, man. Hey, look, I might come out with some ball you training right on that court right there, man. Might as well. I'm gonna spook the hell out of this. Since y'all want to do dribble combinations and shit, I'm gonna go ahead and just have my own training on that Nerf court back there. We're gonna do mic and drills. We're gonna shoot free throws. We're gonna do suicide runs. I got a hardwood floor, so mine as well. Nah, but we here, man. You know, M drop the Jacobs fadeaway perfect. We here. 94 feet. It's no other place I'd rather be before Super Bowl Sunday than talk hoops. Talk about how all of this thing originated and what we're really trying to stand for and what we're trying to build. So I think Ham is ready to get it in. So Ham, man, talk to the people. Still technical difficulties. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and swing it over to Les. Let's see what's best. Worldwide, what's up?
What's happening, fellas? You know, you ready for a fun-filled day of basketball? Gonna watch this Super Bowl. Do want to let you know we are on a 5-game winning streak, and we are also the number one team in our conference. We created some separation this past week, so it's a big week for us. Looking forward to the next few weeks, you know, because we all know February is short and the madness of March will be upon us soon. So I'm ready to hear Ron speak because I know he got a lot from what we discussed in our group chat. So that's what I'm most looking forward to today.
Yeah, I think we want to do this episode to kind of show you the power of basketball, the power of social media, and kind of how it's brought the five of us together. We're gonna mix in some trade deadline talk and some of the current news. Les will be right back, so we'll just keep it flowing. I want to start with kind of how this whole thing got together. Just real quickly. And the first guy I'm going to bring in is my man, MJ. So, MJ, I'm going to get to embarrass you first.
Okay.
So, MJ and I, for those who don't know, work at the same 9 to 5. Me and MJ worked the same 9 to 5 for almost 7 years now. But before the 9 to 5,
oh boy,
South Suburban College, South Holland, Illinois, summer 2008, maybe 2009. I had a cousin, shout out Jabril, my cousin, younger cousin, who played in this summer pro-am with MJ. So there was this left-hand dude. Now, to give y'all some perspective, MJ's from Gary. Shout out Big Dog. Shout out Michael Jackson. So even though Gary is like basically across the street from this pro-am, there's a little Indiana-Illinois thing. It's a little rivalry. You know, they be trying to short the brothers from Northwest Indiana on their hoop respect. So MJ playing on his team against one of the local favorites. I ain't gonna say his name. If Les come back on, Les know who I'm talking about. MJ giving this dude buckets. All the buckets. Left hand, too crafty, too skilled. Just giving him buckets. So then I started working this job in 2012. So, they taking us through the office. This is where the copy machine is. This is where this is, etc. I go past the row. I look. I'm like, man, that dude looked really familiar. So then finally, about 3 weeks later, I'm like, this has been killing me. I'm gonna ask him. So I go up to him like, hey, yo, I know we don't know each other from anywhere, but I gotta ask you something. Did you play in the South Suburban Pro-Am about 3 or 4 years ago? Dude, MJ, being MJ, yeah, I did. I was like, I knew it. And that's how me and MJ connected because of our 9 to 5. I'm going to swing this over to MJ actually now to pick up the story because then this is how it connects to our homies from down south, J-Ham and Trav. So I'm going to let MJ pick the story up from right there.
All right, so look. The funny thing about the whole irony of the story is this whole time, I've not been inspired to play overseas ball since college. I was done. Once I was done with college, I didn't want to play anymore. I had an agent and everything, decided not to do it. So I was literally working a 9 to 5, and I'm walking into these gyms and seeing these dudes with all of this swag with, they got Louis bags, they got, the roller that you roll your knee, they got all this unnecessary equipment. And here I am. I don't even got my old ball at this point because I don't care about basketball like that. But I'm still in good enough shape to do my thing or whatever. So I personally take that as disrespect when I think dudes got like too much swag to where they think that they could just walk on the court and get 30. Like that's a slap in the face to me. Back in my day, you don't do that. Like it's just what I am. So I took it personal every time I went in there. I was like, you know what? I don't got no name in here. I don't care about having a name in here. But I'm gonna play hard and see what happens. So yeah, the game that Big Shot probably saw, it was one of them games I was just on one. I just was not feeling. I was not feeling none of that. So he probably caught me in one of my rare pissed off stages. It's two types of MJs when I hoop. It's the pissed off MJ and it's the silly MJ. Both of them are good. Anything between that, I just kind of go through the motions because I got ADHD on the low. Y'all don't know that, but I do. So with all that being said, man, so we started, talking hoops or whatever. And then, Ronnie invited me into this one group, and then he was just like, yo, man, this is dude named Ham, man. He kind of think like you a little bit. And he's like, but dude, know his story. He know his shit. He know his sports. So I started reading this cat Ham, and I'm just like, this motherfucker genius. Who is this dude? Like, for real. I'm like, who is this dude giving all of this game out? And he was unbiased, and he wasn't from Chicago, so it was refreshing to me because he actually gave, some jewels on Jordan that didn't really, go for the area how we always praise Jordan. Like, Jordan is Jesus to us in Northwest Indiana, Chicago. So we got this guy that's not only not calling him Jesus, but he made a day up called Fuck Jeffrey Fridays. And I'm just like, when it comes to sports, I'm very even keeled. I don't know Michael Jordan from a can of paint. He don't care about my life. I have no emotion invested in this dude. So if anything, I was more intrigued than pissed off to be like, wait a minute, what do you mean by this? And then he just started talking about Mike a little bit more. I'm just like, all of that is actually correct on the low. If you take your Mike Love blinders off, I'm like, oh, this is correct. I'm like, but what it showed me was this dude is a student of the game and he's subjective. Like, he don't go against what he sees. He don't go against the film. Even if the narrative says you should do this, he ain't going with it. And just that part, that really started, don't let the television tell your vision. Because the more you get into this game, the deeper you get into studying it, the more you start to see things ain't really what it is or what the media portray it to be. So, it makes us look crazy when we say certain things until 3 years later, ESPN or TNT or somebody else say it, man, they're like, oh, they geniuses. I'm like, okay, yeah, they just got the platform, whatever. But I'm going to go ahead and pass it to Ham because he's going to bring Trav into this and it's going to be full circle. So, Ham, talk to him, man.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we got
you. Good to go. See, this is the funny about the whole, this
louder.
The funny part about the conglomerate of all of this shit coming together is like we were formed in like a Wu-Tang Voltron kind of way. But the wild part about it is like my whole thing, and see, it's funny that me and MJ mentioned the fact that Jordan is God in Northwest Indiana, pretty much throughout the Midwest. I'm quite sure over in Iowa they feel the same way, here, there, and the other spots as well. And it's kind of universal, like across the nation, pretty much globally, you could probably even say the world, for that matter. But for me, and it started because I was in another group, and one dude actually tried to make me say that Mike was the GOAT. You can't make me say shit. What the fuck you think this is? This hell, baby, now.
Hey, get your finger off the mic, man. I'm reading the live feed. Get the finger off the mic. We want to hear
that's
clip.
What it is. My phone bootleg as fuck. I gotta get over to Metro PCS while they giving away all the free ads. But it's either here or there, man. That's the funny part about it. And I'm in sports fam. Shout out to Walter Donald, man, William Johnson, Terrica Foster. They're my people. They put all on over at Sports Fam years ago. And I went in Sports Fam with the mindset of I'm about to destroy every fucking thing in here. In terms of if these cats contesting, they get in my way, they get dunked on, they get ran over, whatever the fuck. Because at this point, the first take ESPN bullshit was starting to annoy me. So it's this is just way more to it than this. Then I sit down and I rap with my pop. Same way. He's like, man, I ain't really falling for that bullshit either, So just to get that in, so I'm becoming more intrigued in conversations with Cat. And then one night, man, I don't even remember the topic that we was on, but Big Shot just came in the inbox and he hit me and said, yo, you're a fella hoop head, man. I had to hit you up. You know what I'm saying? It just clicked from there. And then when you bring Trav into the equation, me and Trav tell the story all the time. It started with a basic Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett debate. I took KG, he took the guy Timmy, and he locked horns like 2 Rams. He just, locked up, bam, back, just counterattack, what I'm saying, back and forth, no insults, none of that other shit. And we just cool from there because I saw in previous other conversations that, this dude know his shit. You know what I'm saying? Same thing, coming unbiased, he knows his shit, but then he ain't afraid to give it to these cats when these cats get out of water. So I swing it back to Trav on that and let him flow with it.
Yeah, man. And this is where I came in at. Like he said, again, that Sports Fam, man, giving all props to them, man. My guy Red, man, went to school with him, man, and we just sat down and we talk sports every other day. We bumped heads to each other. That's how we became cool. But man, we just off in there, and again, I just see this guy just killing everything in sight. And I'm like, man, what do I need to do? What do I need to say? And that conversation came up, and like he said, it was 2 rounds just bumping heads because, again, as you see, y'all see the hat. I'm a Spurs fan, and I love Tim Duncan, and he's seen it as a way that Kevin Garnett was superior, but he's saying what he's saying is man, that is true. But let me say what I got to say. And that became true. And it ain't, and when you mostly get in these debates and stuff like that, most people, they get into an argument and they start name checking each other. But with us, Southern cats, come to find out, we stay right around the corner from each other. Mm-hmm. We just alike. We're neutral in our sports. We got our teams that we may go for, but at the end of the day, we got mutual respect for each other. And it comes down to you two, which already had the whole 94 Feet of Life going on, which is MJ, Big Shot. Y'all brought hand to the table, and y'all talked about a team that everybody has a common, not dislike, but a common bond. And that's where the whole two and a possible came in.
Yep.
Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yep.
It had to be said. It was true. I haven't been proven wrong yet about this team. And that's how all us connected. With Worldwide Liz coming in the table too, connected to you all. Hey, man. I'm loving it, man. I'm loving the 94 Feet of Life experience, man. We're going to keep this thing growing. Ball U Academy. Hey, man. We here. Just like the young cats, man. I see MJ Wood here too. Hey,
I'm
champions.
just saying. That's all.
Just champions. Hey, that's just what it is, man. I gotta show the people what's good.
You got
You
yours,
gotta
I
show
got
the
mine,
people what's
B.
good. So, man, it's a lot of basketball going on, man. I think we got a whole lot of things. So, big shot. Run it, man.
Fantasy football.
And then to show you to kind of complete the circle, Worldwide Les. Now, Worldwide Les is probably about 5-7 years younger than me. However, the Chicago hoop circle is very small.
Deep.
So Les knows my cousin. Les knows a couple of my guys like Tyrone. Les was from the area that I'm from. So even though we're a couple years removed from each other age-wise, if I said, Les, do you know this guy? Yeah. Ron, do you know this guy? Yeah. So, we know I'm a little bit ahead of him, but Les know the same people I know. We know the same hoopers, and you know, we know we call Worldwide. He's Worldwide Les for a reason because he knows people. Like that's not a nickname you just get just because. You know, because he knows people, and we had to bring him in, man. So that's how Les got here. So Les, I know you busy doing your coaching out there, you know, out there in the Mountain Time Zone. First of all, Les the only brother I know in the Mountain Time Zone besides, you know, dudes on the Broncos and the Jazz. I didn't think they had brothers. I thought it was pretty much Broncos and Jazz, and that's it. So, Les, man, what's going on with you, man? And, you know, just add to this circle of life here.
So, yeah, it's kind of crazy because my boy Garrick was like, man, you know, you should really get down with this basketball group, you know, because all they do is talk about hoops. And I know Garrick from, you know, for a minute. So I was like, all right, so he put me in there. And so, like, it's all basketball, which is something that, like, you know, all of us can attest to. Something we've been in love with since we was young. And so, but it was cool because I'm like, all right, you know, we can, you know, I could really get down with these cats because they have a very, like, they don't have any skin in the game when it comes to giving their opinion, which most of the time when y'all giving an opinion is just basically telling the facts. You know, it says it's all facts out there, and I can't argue with that. So for me, you know, and then like just getting to know y'all and stuff, and then you know, Myron was helping me out with a kid, you know. Really, I mean, it was big time. Like, you know, it didn't go out like it was supposed to, but Myron was big in it. And so I was like, man, he really kept to, you know, like for me in the business I'm in, when somebody give you their word and somebody really just they don't have any, you know, objectivity, they don't want nothing out of it. It was all love, you know? And so for me, like, that was big. And then, like you said, Ron, me and you, we know people from everywhere. We know some of the people, you know, and getting up, you're talking with, like, man, these cats from the South. And what's funny is, like, they're from the M, and one of my best friends from the M, so we talking, and it's like, you know, it's all a connection somewhere together. So it just been, you know, it's just really cool, and, you know, just to be down and watch back from afar, because I don't talk basketball with a lot of people as it is, because I'm a basketball snob. so I really don't. I sometimes I have a deaf ear when people start giving their opinion. I'm just like, yep. you know, that barbershop talk. I can't. I don't get down with that. You know? So you know, but you know, and you guys just show love and like I said, MJ. I had looked out for MJ for some, and then when he had seen me, we had got up. We got some heralds.
Need the heralds.
Need the heralds. You know what I'm saying? So it was just all love, and like you meet cats, and we just kind of, everybody just love the game and want the same stuff out of the game, man. And it's just a good thing, and it's very, like I said, the guys are very, you guys are very
no. Without. Yo, man, so let me just real quick interject with this, man, because we always talking is who. Oh, go ahead, Les. Nah, he going out. But let me just go ahead and interject real quick on this, man, because it's one of those things in which, and somebody tell Les we can't hear him, but it's one of those things in which
can y'all hear me?
Look at it. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh no. Nah, go ahead. You finish.
Okay, no, but I'm just saying this is one of those things in which, it's about basketball, but it's really more than that. And, just through this meeting of the minds and all of that, we've gotten so much done that extended out to really just make the worlds around us better. Because, I'm going to be real with you. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it or anything like that. For the last 5, 6, 7 years, it just seems like it's been, a war on masculinity. Like masculinity is a bad thing. It's not masculinity a bad thing. Toxic masculinity is a bad thing. And while they're trying to, just get rid of masculinity as a whole because of the toxic masculinity, nobody's checking the toxic feminism. Nobody's checking, the toxic or ulterior motives that the Rainbow Coalition may have, or the LGBT group have, because it's really just about toxic is toxic, wrong is wrong. But for whatever reason, when you're trying to be a man, the only time it's okay for you to be a man is during sports or entertainment. That's the only time. Like, even if you look at the beginning of the year, Soulja Boy, nobody was rocking with Soulja Boy until he made everybody laugh. Now he's selling out. Now everybody want to listen to it. But it's almost like we got to be court gestures in order to, get our point across. We got to be funny. We got to be entertaining. Look at Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner ain't even won the fight, but we're all remembering him just off of the stuff that he said. It's like we're not even rewarding, the masculinity, or you're rewarding stuff that entertains you. And now it's becoming a situation in which all the kids that are looking at this, they are aspiring to become, these clowns, because no offense to that, but they're aspiring to become this because that's what's getting the attention. And that's what's easy to be able to be controlled. So, you got me over here with Ball U Academy. I'm trying to, cultivate the person that they are. I'm not trying to make another me or make another big shot. What I'm doing is I'm trying to figure out who they are and cultivate that, because you need diversity. But it's hard because it seems like we got the scope on us at all times. If we show too much emotion, we're too emotional. You know what I mean? When we too calm, we don't care enough. It's like there is no middle ground. And what people got to understand is, when I'm talking about this masculinity and stuff like this, who's your president right now? He's masculine in every sense of the world, but it's toxic. But who's supposed to go against him? Because they tried talking to him. That don't work. You can't negotiate with an individual like that. You need people who going to be able to get things done and combat it with action. And that's the one thing that I just think that, is getting taken away. And people got to be cognizant of the fact that when you take away masculinity, you take it away a lot of good action and a lot of good doings of a lot of good men who want to do right. So that's just my soapbox for right there. But I had to get that off my chest, because it's really gotten to the point where I don't even talk on Facebook or social media no more, because I'm tired of seeing it. So y'all can
MJ, let me say something real quick. My bad. You right about that, because now, like y'all know, I spent the whole summer and spring, last summer and spring, in various gyms and watching players and sitting with coaches. And it's been certain players that play with a lot of emotion, and they are called head cases. There are other players that play with a lot of emotion and say, man, he really cares. Now, if you put 2 and 2 together, You can probably understand where I'm going with it.
Yep.
So, and that's the thing about it. Us, our demographic, our young ball players, they can't be too aggressive. They can't be too emotional. They can't trip someone on the court. And
keep going.
They can't trip someone on the court and be marginal and still get drafted in the first round.
True. That's true. That's true.
I mean, let's think about this. Let's think about LeGarrette Blount. I know we basketball, but think about LeGarrette Blount, right?
Right.
When he was at Oregon and he punched the dude from Boise State, and it was wrong, but the man didn't even get drafted. They took a year from him, and he didn't even get. They took a year of college football away from him, and he didn't even get drafted in the NFL. He's, all because of that incident. But we have a player that repeatedly has tripped, played dirty, and he's in the first round. I seen him on TV last night. Like, that's what I'm saying. We can only get away with so much. We got to be perfect. Like, I read a meme one day that said, black people or black men got to run, jump, dance, be able to sing. Mm-hmm. They want us to be superheroes, but the minute we do something wrong, we are done for. So MJ, I know exactly where you're going with it, because like that's just what it is, man. That's and I totally agree with you, man. I know what you feeling. I know you're on the soapbox, but like that's something that's bothered me for so long. That's something, and it's gonna continue to be like that,
unless we change within ourselves. Go ahead.
Unless we change it, but you gotta show emotion. You can be emotional. Sports bring out emotions. Sports bring out emotions, good or bad. And most of our young men, get out that. And this is probably because I can tell you this right now. I coach junior college basketball. You can only know the emotions.
Yeah.
that I see on a day-to-day basis. But these are these guys' outlets. And when they walk off the court, they're not like that. Like I told them, like I told y'all before we got on air, what I told my guys for the game, and that's the thing about it, is like, we got to be able to, our emotions got to be accepted too in the eyes of the world, like everybody else's is, but we're gonna have to talk on a deeper subject because I got a lot more to go. But I'm just saying, how when we interact, and because we are people too, like, we're not superheroes. We can't run, jump, sing, and dance, and make you laugh. I mean, shit. Like, who?
Hey, was asking a lot.
Before we go on the next subject, let me get a shout out to AWOL, Elton, Views from the 22. I think that's Mo behind that.
Yep.
I got Sean, KG, Black Star, Artie.
Oh, that's everybody. That's the whole game.
Nah, they hit.
So again, I got the questions up. Hit me up with the questions. We're gonna try to get with them as soon as we can. So Big Shot, or any one of y'all that got something to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty to talk about. So we're gonna bring this back in the current day. And this is what I'm gonna say. And I know this is the hot topic. It's the Lakers. This is all I'm gonna say about the Lakers. And I know everybody's like, man, Anthony Davis will be there. Anthony Davis will be there. If we haven't learned anything in the last 2 years, and J-Ham and Trav, big wrestling guys, they know about Sting back in 1996. And what does Sting say, Jay? He said the only thing that's for sure is nothing is for sure.
Nothing is for sure.
Nothing is for sure.
If you are the Lakers, you got about 4 days to figure this out. Because I'm telling you now, not making these playoffs or a first round exit has a funny way of changing people's minds.
And they in 10th place right now.
Listen, 2020 is a long way away. I'm just telling you, if I'm Magic Johnson, I know you don't want to give away the house, but you might need to go ahead and get that house away. Because I'm saying, y'all give me y'all thoughts, but I see a team right now that time is starting to run out.
Yep.
Like, and this season only got about 2 months left in.
Yep.
So you can play the whole we the star franchise if you want to. Time getting short. Figure it out, because I'm telling you, your situation is more precarious than you think. I'll give y'all give me y'all thoughts.
That's on Ham. Ham, go for it.
Already.
Hey, man. I tried to stay away from the Lakers all year. Just for the simple fact that usually, and we right at this point, and I mentioned this on, I think, shout out to Marcus Blackstock. He posted something last night about this being a stain on LeBron. First of all, what was the term they used last night?
No, you better not say it.
It's pause.
Let's put this in. Let's just say.
I'm gonna go in. Don't.
Hey, let's just say. Let's just say LeBron got rest from doing. He's been doing more than others. Yet he has missed a whole month of basketball,
which he's never missed before. And another story for another time on why I believe that's going on. But whatever the term was that they used last night, I'm adopting that for my own self. So when I don't feel like doing something, and goddamn it, same thing when LeBron said I would go to state the night before the Super Bowl. That's what I'm using as my reason.
Ham,
so,
I strongly urge that you reconsider. You switch the first word with work just for pause reasons. Because, not for real, because I don't want you sounding like a porn movie, for real. Like, you know, when I think of that statement, I think of somebody catching shots. That's what I think. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm trying to be as
no, get a
as possible with this. I'm trying. Like, I don't want to get shut down by the FCC or nothing, but I can't fold. So work management would be perfect, Ham. Whoever thought that was a good idea to say what they said, clearly do not listen to battle rap. Clearly did not listen to Dame Dash, and probably is really weird, B. They're probably really weird, and you know, you're right. And there's a lot of weird stuff that go there. So
this is true.
I don't want to know. I'm just gonna. I don't want to know, but let's just that term is dead. And I saw it go across ESPN Sports Center screen, and I was disappointed. It's dead to me. We're gonna put that in the box with all of the other words that your mama said, and we're gonna keep it there. Please keep it
buried.
Fair enough.
When I seen that, and I came into the group and I said, I cannot believe this, and they posted this, the first person came out and said something about that and talked bad about it was Big Shot. That was the most. If I can put the voices of stuff out there to hear what this man said about that. It was so true, but yet so hilarious. It don't make no sense.
No.
To be honest, I only in my life have seen two people may have granted that type of excuse to miss a game. That's Michael Jordan and James Harden this year. They're the only two. But for this man to miss 17 games, a whole month of basketball.
Oh, Mom.
You're off that Friday. And you got to go to Golden State that Saturday. And that's your excuse? You got to be out your
Hey, look.
mind.
Hey, look though. I ain't gonna even go that direction because I'm a man right now that's been in my job for 10 years and I earn approximately 37 days of vacation and bereavement. I have to use it, or it don't rotate over. So I am not about to hate on a man who just feels like I just don't got it today, or I don't feel like this smoke, whatever the reason behind it. I do not mind. I'm just saying differently. Just say you sick. At this point you can say
just say rest. Just rest. You rest.
Please.
Rest.
Product maintenance.
Lie. Big Shot said it. Lie about it.
You can lie.
Say you're fired up or something. Lie about it. I mean, that was the poorest PR, Laker PR excuse you could ever use.
Hey, flu-like symptoms. Jordan used it when he was drunk. Flu-like symptoms.
Yes. It don't make no sense, but we're gonna go to the guy that really cranked this one up. That is Big Shot.
Yo, hold on. Hey,
get in there, Les.
Go ahead, Les.
Yes, Les.
Hey, I didn't know why he missed, so I just Googled.
That's right. You Google that.
He didn't know what he said, so he Googled it.
I didn't know. I was like, what? I mean, he sat out. I thought he was running from an ass whooping from Golden State. I didn't know it was because of that.
Yeah. And it's in the comments. If y'all read blacks.com, the statement is in there. I'm not going to say it.
Oh, my God. Oh, God.
Hey, thank you, Black.
Hey, LeBron needed to take FMLA. He was running from my ass whooping. He was running from my ass whooping. He's tired of getting his ass whooped by Golden State.
Man, that man tired of getting touched up by Golden State. And the thing about it, they had a shot.
Hey, remember Different Strokes? When Arnold was scared of the gooch.
I remember
when the girl was the bully and he was scared to go to school. That's LeBron was scared. LeBron was scared. He was like, they got boogie. Nah, I'm good. I had to manage.
That man.
I need management.
That's ridiculous.
That man sat in the no smoking section. He sat in the no smoke section, which is fine. There's plenty of them.
Yeah.
So Big Shot, bring us back home, man. Bring us back because we could go on the tangent all day. This is gonna be a very free flowing show, as y'all can see.
Yes. So it's on you, Big Shot. What else we got besides?
Okay, here's the other thing that a lot of people are tight about in different forms, and this is another time again. I don't like to be a know-it-all or I told you so. But until a dude is sitting at the podium holding up your team's jersey and he signed a contract, don't believe what you see. And now we go to our man Flat Earth. Our man Kyrie. Kyrie held a pep rally for y'all in October, so y'all can buy them shoes. Held a pep rally. I want to be here a long time. I want them to retire my number. That was 4 months ago. And here we are today. I don't owe y'all ish.
But you don't.
Which is true. He don't owe anything. But again, this is why, man, people change their minds all day long.
All day, B.
And that's why I don't. You. One thing y'all should learn: you never make grand pronouncements about your career because you never know how the situation is gonna change.
Facts. Hey,
what you think is gonna happen 4 years from now, 4 months from now. It might even happen 4 days from now. You never make grand pronouncements about your career because now Kyrie Irving, who I think is going to leave, has now kind of given the people with some material where you said you were going to stay. I'm like, grand pronouncements don't work in these days. These things are short-term contracts. No matter what you want, no matter what you think.
Facts.
These windows are short. And if somebody can find themselves a better deal or a better trade, they are going to make said deal or said trade.
With that, first off, shout out to Jay Ham for bagging up the work right in front of me. He put making bags right now. Y'all not the only one seeing this. Like,
I'm seeing
the grind don't stop, man. The grind don't stop, especially since I get caught in the cooking shop all week, so I don't have time to do shit to like Saturday and Sundays anyway. So
the man
here's what it is.
Right in front of us. Like, is the fans watching? I'll need to make sure we good. Like, don't show them too much, G. Don't show them too much, G. We'll need to see the balance out. Now, but just like what Big Shot was mentioning, now I'm gonna swing this over to Trav, let everybody go. But just like what Big Shot mentioned is, it's like you can't have no more than what, a 6-year contract max, maybe 5 to 6, and those aren't really, you know what I'm saying, being given out like that anymore. So you're looking at a bunch of 3 to 4 year contracts. Usually around year 2 or 3, the owner knows if they want to keep them and extend them or trade them for somebody that's going to make them better, or even the player knows, hey, I don't want to be here too much longer. So, you know, the average superstar Hall of Fame is probably going to get 6 contracts in this game, right? So, you know what I'm saying? The rest of them, they lucky to get 3. Lucky to get 3 contracts. And they already state you want to really just get to your second contract so you can be financially free and start building your legacy. So it's very cutthroat right now, you know what I'm saying, if you just look at the game in total. So just by how the system is set up right now, you can't have any loyalty. You can't. You have to do what's best for you because everybody else is doing what's best for themselves. And the only real difference about it now as opposed to then they were able to finesse it and make it a little bit more smoother. It's no different than back in the day, you know what I'm saying, for those of y'all who were strip club extraordinaires or whatever, back in the day, you know, the woman will talk to a John for like an hour and just game him and act like she really cares about what he's talking about. You know what I mean? And, you know, she'll break that man for about 300-400 and make it feel like the most special thing on the world. Nowadays, it's like chicks walking around like, yo, you want to dance? Nah, I'm too wrong. That's kind of how the game is moving right now. Everybody just like, I'm out for myself. I'm not going to even hide it. Even how LeBron is moving, like, why would you go to a team with all of these youth, which is what attracted you there, to trade them all away so that when you leave, y'all back in rebuilding mode? He's done this to the last 3 places. Am I the one who's noticing this? Not going to stay on LeBron too much, but you could just kind of tell that things are starting, people are starting to draw their line in the stand on what they believe to be the best way to get their chip or build their legacy. And Kyrie has made it clear that the best way that he's going to build his legacy is he's going to go to the best situation for him and do whatever in his control. And that's what's going to be the extent of it. But he already got his title early, so he ain't really got to worry about that. He got something that everybody else is chasing already. So, Trav, what you think on that?
It's going to be what it's going to be with LeBron, man. I mean, when you're considered the face of the league like this, he's going to make his moves, and he's making it better for the players. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people want to have that management control, but they're so used to it. Like Charles Barkley said something the other night, like players shouldn't have this much control. Well, you got to understand, when you that good, you can do things like that. Jordan was the same way. He could have left if he wanted to, but they had a 1 year, $32 million to stay in Chicago. I mean, when you good like that and you got the player union on your side, you can move the way you want to move, and you making it better for others the way they other players the way. But in all cases, man, like I said before, don't y'all count y'all eggs before they hatch because they can stay hardened a little bit longer than usual. Or they can break early. You can't count them. And the thing about Boston fans, you're not entitled to anything. Just because somebody says that they're gonna go to you, they don't mean that y'all gonna get them. Just because somebody say they're gonna stay with you, they don't mean that they're gonna stay. Boston fans are feeling like you're entitled, like you're not LA. You don't have that type of money. The only thing y'all got right now is draft picks and players to trade.
Facts.
That's the only two things y'all got. And it's not a loyal guy. He's a businessman. Have y'all noticed that? You got a dude that took a plane flight from his sister's funeral, dropped 40 something, won a series, got hurt, and then you trade him to get Kyrie. That's not loyalty. That's not loyalty. That's business. And guess what? He actually took the guy, Kyrie, and Kyrie was so-called hurt at Cleveland. But all of a sudden, he started the season when he was at Boston. It's business, man. It's business. It's not loyalty. It's business. So get that loyalty out your system. Boston is not entitled to get anybody. And you know what? Since we got our up north cats here, we're gonna keep it with a cat that's from up north, that basically grew like 8 inches in one night, and is like one of the top 5 players in the league. And he's on Detroit, and he wants to get out of New Orleans. He wants to get out. So, Ham, talk to these folks about AD, man, because if the Lakers don't do what they're supposed to do, y'all gonna be in shit creek. And guess what, Lakers? You're not entitled to nobody. Only thing you got is max deals.
Yeah. And before I even get on AD, these Bleacher Report rumors, all this other shit, I can't tell you to stop reading it, but stop reading that shit. Stop reading, because this is why I say stop reading that shit, because it triggers a whole bunch of dumbass emotions from y'all. I'm talking to y'all, the fans, just in that standpoint. Y'all just gotta feel it. This is why I stayed clear away from the conversations. This is why I stayed away from the whole AD and the Lakers shit to begin with. Because it's like, until we get word that he's going to, okay, let's trade me. And then they still gotta buy into the trade. If New Orleans like, hey, Magic, we want Kuzma, we want Lonzo, we want the whole young gamut that you got over there. What the hell else Magic gonna do? If this is what you want. Yeah, this dude can opt out of his contract or whatever. No, he's not free to 2020, right?
Yep.
So if he's not free to 2020, I can understand why New Orleans is holding the cards and they tight, they're not answering the phones, and they being petty and fucked up like they are. It makes sense because, but then what they didn't have to do, they didn't have to take the band out of the little lineup package, video package, that they did. That was kind of fucked up.
That was broken.
That's the pettiness within the
right,
team.
But like H-Town said, what was that back like in 95? Emotions make you cry sometimes, Chief. So
yeah,
and I made reference to like this whole situation the other day, like you New Orleans, you Memphis, Portland, these other spots that are small market teams in areas like that. It's tough to win, man. You have to really like hit the lick. You got to hit the lick on the like. We're going to draft Tim Duncan in the lottery and not draft in the lottery for the next 20 plus years. Right. Or we can trade James Harden lose Kevin Durant free agency and still be able to land, trade for, and keep and re-sign Paul George. That's how you got to be. That's the kind of luck that it takes. The market size really don't mean shit no more, but it still means something. And a lot of times with that market size, you have legacy, you have history there. Boston, LA, who's more historical than those two. So of course, 80 to Boston, 80 to LA, that's going to fuel just the general narratives that come with it anyway. But we might have to wait till he's like completely free to see where he goes. But of course, we all conventionally think, for the most part, he gonna get moved before this whole thing is said and done anyway. So,
and let's not get it twisted. You mentioned something that was very important. You mentioned something about how where you're at, the market doesn't matter no more. I'm gonna tell you like this: it's gonna need a little bit of luck, but the way you build a team, that blueprint has not changed. It's been the same way from top to bottom. You need to win in your draft. You need to win in free agency, and you need to build a culture that is a sustained culture that players are going to want to stay in. Right now, in this day and age, this is no longer the grown man league that we're used to when you coming in at 24, 25, and, big bro that's like 30 is putting his arm around your shoulder, taking you out to clubs and you drinking and buying bottles, and then you got to practice and be on some grown stuff, or y'all can fight at practice and still hug each other in the game. It's not like that anymore. It's younger, which means it's more petty. So your work environment has to be conducive to what the environment is today. Why Golden State is successful is because they created an environment that caters to the type of guys that are now today. So, guys are more laid back now. These players are more laid back now. These players know that they have the power. So instead of Golden State pretty much trying to own them, or the fans trying to own them, they just made a work environment to where I don't want to leave. And you know what happens now? Because we struck a lick in the free agency. I mean, we struck a lick in the draft, getting Klay Thompson, getting Draymond Green, getting Curry. Then we struck a lick in free agency by getting Iguodala. Now, all of a sudden, our team has built the right pieces to be able to formulate a championship. Now, we're not the biggest guys to be able to sustain this thing, keep going. So even if they lose KD or Klay Thompson, still got a nice big three with Draymond, Steph, Marcus Cousins. So now they got sustained movement, but it's because of the environment they created. So it starts with the environment and the culture. Then you got to make sure that you get the right guys. Then the right guys got to make sure they attract the free agents. But New Orleans, unfortunately, swung and missed on 2 out of the 3. Really 3 out of the 3. The only person they drafted right for was Anthony Davis. Everybody else, it really wasn't anybody that they got for him. I mean, Drew Holiday was a good pick, but, things happen. With his wife, his injury, things happen. So they didn't get a chance to build that relationship because, he was out of the league. But, we know Drew Holiday is definitely a building piece as well. But, who else have you drafted? Can somebody name me 5 players that New Orleans draft that have any significance to winning a championship for Anthony Davis? Can anybody?
No.
Okay. No. When you're a small market team, you cannot swing and miss in the draft for 3 years straight. You can't.
You sure can.
You can't, because you're not attracting people like that. And even still, they still landed DeMarcus Cousins. They still was able to get Julius Randle, but those are just off trades on something else. But they still got them, and they lucked out on that part. But you didn't have any younger guys to build with either. You swung out on Shaq Diallo. You swung out on a couple of guys. What do you do?
Big Shot.
What up?
Talk to him, man.
All right, so now, as we head into this trade deadline, so we saw the Knicks, a.k.a. the currency exchange, a.k.a. payday loans.
PLS.
If you got bad money, just send it up to Madison Square Garden. They'll take care of it for you. Change your dollar bills. The Porzingis Luka combination in Dallas, I like that a lot next year.
Yeah,
I think if Porzingis is healthy, which is always the big asterisk, that's decent start as far as you trying to build a team. You kind of doing the Nash Nowitzki 2019 thing with Luka and Porzingis. So we head to the trade deadline coming up this week. And I feel like there's a couple teams, fellas, who probably should make a move. And my first team that I think, if it's me, right? And that's Toronto. Toronto has already shown we don't care about being the possible. We don't care about getting left at the altar by Kawhi or something, right? So we don't care. I'm Toronto. I call New Orleans this week. I say, listen, Siakam, probably the Valanciunas you might have to throw in for a salary. But if I'm Toronto, we've gone all in once. Why not go all in twice?
You ain't got nothing to lose.
What do you have to lose? Because even if we play this whole Anthony Davis is going to LA thing, if I go in all in for Anthony Davis now, maybe we win the chip this year.
Or next year, because he on 20.
Maybe we win it next year. Or the Lakers have to call me now. Now you got to call me if you really want to. So to me, if I'm Toronto, I'm making that long distance phone call to New Orleans this week. And I want to see.
Damn it, Big Shot. That's why your name is Big Shot, because I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that for 1 year.
I mean,
because they're gonna get a call from LA, one way or another. If you do get Anthony Davis, you think they're gonna call you? Y'all already trying to get.
Hey, hit mute for me, Jay. Hit mute for me, Jay. Appreciate you. Go ahead, try.
Yeah, they're gonna call for why. What? I mean, if you really gonna give it up like that, you're gonna give up your whole team.
Good.
And the thing about the Lakers is they only got room for 3 max players.
Right.
So if you do max, that's gonna be that. That's because Toronto is in a good position.
They are.
They're in a very good position. They're in a very good
position. And MJ, you just hit on that point. I got it. If I'm Toronto, I get them for this year. I get them for next year.
And I can sign Kawhi for 1 year. Let's sign Kawhi for 1 year. Be like, you know what? If you feel like you need to leave, go ahead.
Look,
but we got AD. Sign 1 year.
MJ, we rolled the dice on Kawhi for a year. We might as well roll dice on Anthony Davis for 1.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing, too, I'm glad you mentioned that, because if there's anybody that could pull this move off and still make it something out of positive, out of negative, it's the GM Messi. I love Messi because when people remember that Denver, when he was over in Denver and Melo was just like, I want out, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Think about all the pieces he got over in Denver, and think about how Denver sustained competitiveness all the way up until he left Toronto. And now look at Toronto. I mean, were they a championship team? No. But just think about what they have done in the last 4 years under Uri. Think about it. Last year, they was the number 1 seed. The only problem was they kept running into Thanos.
Right.
Yeah.
But now they have Thor, who can fight Thanos, and Kawhi Leonard. And then Thanos went to the other side of the conference anyway. So the way you look at it right now, yeah, you're the favorite, but we all know if you catch Boston in a 7-game series where stars can be stars, and Boston is not, you know what I'm saying, running out at least of depth and stardom, they can give you a run, and Kyrie can have those moments in which he's making shots that no defense can stop. Mm-hmm. And now you put yourself in a situation in which you could end up changing Kyrie's legacy because he could just take this series over and make it his own. But you get AD with Kawhi, with Danny Green, and Kyle Lowry. who knows that I got all of this behind me, who's scoring on that defense? Oh, and we still got Serge Ibaka because he talking about keeping Serge. So who's scoring on that 5? Please, I would love to hear.
I just think it's worth it if you Toronto. Even if this man says it's only a rental, fine. That's fine.
Just play basketball.
That's fine. So I'm going with that. Jay, I know you in the kitchen. Trade deadline. We talked about Anthony Davis. We talked about all these different things. Something you looking for at the deadline.
Hit that mute button, G.
Hit that mute.
Honestly, man, for it to be over with. I mean, it's one of those deals, man, and we get excited just in general as fans for the movement, and that's cool. Right. But how often we probably can count on one hand in the last quarter century where one of those trade deadline moves at least resulted in June or late May, Memorial Day. And so it's short-term window for the season. And then, of course, you usually get it on expiring contracts and things of that nature. So it's like, if y'all going to move something, go ahead and move something. If you're going to move, it's going to be AD, get AD moved. Let's get it over with. Let's get him where he's supposed to be, where everybody can be happy. Now we can get into the stretch run. And, of course, we still got to hear the future teammate shit, you know what I'm saying, in regards to free agency and who could potentially go where. I'm not worried about that. Let's get through the stretch run. Let's get to the playoffs. Then when we get to July 1st, let's talk about the other stuff in that regard. So trade deadline really for the last couple of years, that's what it's been for me. Get the primary name, move by that point, which I like. When they moved Boogie a couple of years ago to New Orleans during the All-Star game, that shit was fat. Because we had a few days off in between. You know, now you got the extended All-Star break, so you get the All-Star game. Then after that, they don't come back and play till like that following Thursday. So, of course, we had quite a few days to just continue to rag on Sacramento for being a bunch of dumbasses for giving away Boogie at the one time. But give Sacramento some credit. They flipped that and turned that around, and they developed some nice talent out there. Give them a year or two, they can be fighting for one of those one of those bottom spots in the 8 in the West, man. But aside from that, AD is the primary guy. Let's get the Super Bowl over with. Let's get that shit over with AD. Let's get the All-Star game over with. And let's get to March. Let's get to April. Let's get to the fun stuff in regards of like who's going to be where. Let's see if these Lakers still remain in 9th, 10th, 11th place. Let's see if product maintenance is continued to be used as the excuse, going forward down the pike. But beyond that, man, let's just get it over with. That's all I got for the trades.
And I'm going to say this too, while all this is happening, first off, shouts out to Portland and shouts out to AWOL for giving us this breaking news at the beginning. Rodney Hood just got traded to Portland.
Portland. Hey, man, shout out Rodney Hood, man. Professional trade file.
Also, shout out to the trade that Utah made to get Mike Conley. So, I definitely doing no favor because Mike Conley with Donovan Mitchell, that sounds like something that could be special.
Hey, you know what? Let me talk about that for a second.
Yeah, talk.
Mike Conley didn't traded yet. I'm mad at my Memphis radio station putting their plug out. This fool is playing against New York right now. Yesterday, yesterday or day before yesterday, they was in Charlotte. They pulled him out of the warm-up to let them know that they was working on that. They pulled him out. He didn't even play. Now, all of a sudden, he's playing today on Super Bowl Sunday against the New York Knicks. They informed me wrong, man. We got to get better than that Memphis radio station, 92.9, man.
Hey, Memphis has had a couple trade shenanigans this year.
Man, and there it is. And
they had a couple mishaps with trades.
getting last name wrong and stuff like that. Come on, man.
Man, they thinking about Penny right now. They thinking about the Tigers now. They don't even care.
Right.
Like, we about to take over this NCAA in 2 years. We about to get Wiseman. We don't care about this no more. Whatever.
And speaking of that, boy, them folks were getting skull drugged yesterday. They were getting skull drugged, but they broke it down to 6. They lost, but man, we got it.
Okay. You know what? I want to talk about the NCAA real quick, and I want to make this pronouncement right now. And I know J Ham, you over there in the kitchen, he's our Duke guy. Let me say this right now. The NCAA needs to go under investigation if Duke wins this national championship with 2 players. Because this looks to me very much like Zion and RJ Barrett about to pull a half a Melo each. I watched Duke play 5 times this year. And I'm like, is Zion, RJ, and then you talk about 2 and a possible. You want to talk about the new 2 and a possible.
It make it work in college basketball.
Jay, I know you just joined us. And I'm telling you, if Duke wins this national championship with 2 and a possible, the whole thing needs to be investigated.
Hey, I honestly don't think they will, but I get what you're saying at the same time. Because dude's a fucking cyborg, man. Let's just keep it real.
Man, let me tell you something, Jay. And MJ, when you come back on camera, I got get your feel in. The wild part about Zion, man, yes, the athleticism is unreal. But you watch that dude dribble that ball, you watch some of the stuff, the touch around the basket and the feet, man. Yo.
It ain't right, man. I agree. It ain't right.
That athletic, yet with that much finesse in your game. Like, he's a dog, but he has enough finesse ability to do what he do. Like, he's left-handed.
When the initial comparison with LeBron came into play early, my whole thing was that LeBron played with a better touch and a better feel to the game. It's not that Zion don't have that. It's just different. It's just applied in a different way, but the level of athleticism that dude is about, man, it's unreal,
Jay, but you know what's crazy about Jay? You're right. He doesn't have LeBron's feel, but then again, who does at that age?
Right.
But you watch him handle the ball in the open floor. You watch some of the things that he can do in traffic, not just jumping over people, but the body control, the way he can finish with either hand. He's a better passer than what people give him credit for. Like, he is.
You know what? I'm gonna say this about Zion, and it goes along the lines of Steph Curry and James Harden.
Myron, hit your volume.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna say this about Zion, and it goes along the lines of Steph Curry and James Harden. Up until a certain point, a lot of these individuals believe basketball to be something as far as what it is and got comfortable with it. Zion is probably the missing piece because James Harden right now is literally, when I say literal, I mean literally doing all the things that he's supposed to do as a guard and is being successful at it. Now, we got, Zion Williamson, who is about to be Barkley 2.0 with a better handle and more of an Anthony Mason who possibly could even develop a better shot. And now he's about to break the rule when it comes to how we look at small forwards. So I'm rooting for him to be great because now it's like you have all of these things in which the narratives is broken completely. And that's why I'm rooting for Zion. But I'm just still trying to figure out how he's going to do it. He's going to have to be really great to do that. because if they see that his way ain't working, they will put him in the trade blocks and treat him like they treat anybody else who they thought was going to be a superstar. So that's really what I'm looking at.
You know what, MJ? You know the beautiful part of this game that we love, which we call basketball, is we can break rules and still be successful in this game. You ain't got to. There's some people that don't necessarily got to have their elbow straight to hit every jumper.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got to be the most, I'm going to come down the court, put up one finger, and call a play type of point guard. You ain't got to do that. You can still be a two guard, but yet be a primary ball handler and still get everybody involved, yet spray everybody for 30 a game.
Yep.
You can be 6'8", 285, and can jump to Jesus and come back and still punish somebody. Rules, just because it's basketball doesn't mean that it can be played in one way. It can be played in many different ways. But if you have that type of craft and you can perfect that craft and be consistent all at the same time, you can make a living in the NBA, in the National Basketball Association. That's the most beautiful part about this game of basketball. People are not built the same way. Charles Barkley was they list him as 6'6".
6'4".
But yes, 6'4". He broke rules. 6'4" power forward? No, power forward should be about 6'9", 6'10". No, that changes, fella.
And power forward shouldn't dribble when they get the rebound. They shouldn't push the ball.
Yes. That's the most beautiful part about this game. Rules are made to be broken in the league. Stephen Curry is breaking. Oh, Jesus Christ. Had Reggie Miller over there crying the other night. Because he has broken his 3-point record within 10 years. Reggie Miller was in the league, 16, 17 years? Mm-hmm. He broke it in 10. Mm. These rules are fixing to be broken. Yep. But, hey, that's the most beautiful part about the game, man. It's the most beautiful part about the game. So, that you can break the rules.
What we need now, maybe we'll get it in a regional final. I talked about at the beginning of the year, we need Duke in Kentucky sometime in his lifetime.
Man.
So if we can't get Duke in Kentucky this year, I need Duke, Tennessee.
Yep.
I need Zion versus Big Skull and Grant.
I love it.
Just throw them in the cage.
I love it.
We need Duke. I need Duke, Tennessee in the regional final this year. I want to see it.
Or Final Four. I'm good with that too.
Come off mute, Ham. Come off mute.
I'll be straight up with y'all, man. They'll kick the shit out of it.
I got it. He's not finna fool me with that. He's not finna fool me with that.
Because we talking about March and not 21 and over ID. Grant Williams is not a fucking junior, okay? That dude was like 24 years old, man. Dude just look old, man. You know what I'm saying? He looked like he probably on a G League contract or some shit, you know? And then he just straight grown. Then you got the Admiral. Then you got the rest of the horses that they got. Rick Barnes done a nice job. He's done a fantastic job getting the guys in. They running through the wall for him right now. And really, they're the best team I've seen all year. You know, just point blank period.
I just got to get them their props on that shit. But I don't know if we're going to catch them in the regional final. But both of them probably will be in that South region. 1 and 2, whatever the case may be. Or if not 1 and 2 on that South region, they'll be on the same side of the bracket for the 4. So either way, I hadn't looked at a whole lot of bracketology. I just been really watching games and such. But I'm looking forward to March, man, because I think we're gonna have some real pleasant surprises from the standpoint of execution. Coming down the stretch. I'm hopefully that we get some anyway, because I watched Indiana last night. When they played Michigan State, they almost blew that game twice, just out poor late game execution. And of course, which Miller brother? That's Archie, right?
Yeah,
it's Archie
doing everything that he can to save his job. His kids are playing hard though, and they came up with a big win last night. But the Big Ten still one of the best conferences. Just probably from top to bottom, I probably give them the nod. ACC still legit. It's just kind of spread it. But I tell you who I stay away from, though. I stay away from Pac-12 basketball right now, man. I can't feel it. What I'm saying? It's just
Pac-12 basketball is so terrible right now. They got one in the possible. They got Washington, and that's it. And everybody else from Pac-10 is terrible right now.
I mean, Bobo going down definitely doesn't help the situation. When Bobo went down, it kind of was like,
yeah, that didn't help.
So this is where we need worldwide, because the Pac-12 it's in putrid. It's in putrid mode. Yeah. It's in putrid mode.
Well, I mean, you gotta think why though. Arizona was under investigation. They got the feds watching them, so they can't get the usual powerhouse players that they usually get to keep them involved. You know what I mean? UCLA pretty much is done with Steve Alford. So Steve Alford and his players, they all know that. So with the exception of Jalen Hurts just trying to do his thing to get in the draft, they really just got to go through the motions. Every other team is built on the identity that they are. So it's just one of those years, man. I mean, and even if you look at the class of 2019 coming in, talent-wise, it's not really going to blow you away. I'm just being real. So anybody who expected the 2019 class going to be crazy, it's going to be very top-heavy coming out of high school.
No.
Yep. I mean, you may get a couple of guys who, like, you didn't know about, and then 3 years later, you see them like, oh, dang, he could hoop. You might get some of them. But as of right now, just kind of just the whole temperature of the 2019 class, it's not really that deep. It's not. So it's going to be interesting.
Fellas, we are at an hour and 15 minutes. So we're going to wrap this thing up. I know folks got to get their Super Bowl party preparations or trips, in order. But before we close out the show, make sure y'all support. This is kind of my little soapbox moment. Whether it's 94 Feet of Life for your hoops action, views from the 22 for the football heads, shows like this, show what the views do. It's about really speaking for you, the fan. Really speaking for you, the people who actually know the game. Like, part of the reason this group was formed, part of the reason I remember when Red and Sports Fan was formed some years back, shout out Red, was the mainstream coverage is so played, and the undisputeds and the first takes and just sort of just regurgitating stuff, and it's just nonsense. And in this platform with social media and the technology, we got a chance to make change in how sports are covered and get real viewpoints from how people really feel, not what the networks want you to feel. So 94feetoflife.com, some site revamping is coming real soon. We're getting that together. Make sure you're in the group, on the Facebook fan page, on the Instagram. Follow us everywhere. Follow Views everywhere, because this is an opportunity for not just us as the people who create the platform, but for you. For you, because you're the expert. You know as much as these people on TV know.
Facts.
And
yes,
we want your voice to be heard. You know, we come with the topic, but you all bring the conversation and bring the meat to it. So pause. So going forward, 94feetoflife.com, revamp on the way, Facebook 94 Feet of Life, Facebook fan page, all that good stuff, man. I'm gonna close out, but Trav, MJ, some words you want to leave with the people as we finish up.
I'll go first. First and foremost, I got the Rams beating the Patriots in the Super Bowl for no reason at all. No, I will say this. Let me explain why. In football is the consummate team game. So Tom Brady is probably the best. Tom Brady is the best football player on the offensive side of the on the ball in that game. But you know, if you're some of your parts, the Rams do have the tools to be able to do the one thing that a lot of teams who beat Brady are successful at doing, which is keep him completely off the field. They got Aaron Donald and, you know, a nice front four that can cause pressure to get them off the field. And they have a great running game with Todd Gurley that can keep them doing long drives to keep him off the field. And that's the blueprint on beating a quarterback like Tom Brady. Just keep him away from the damn ball. So I think the Rams are going to be able to do that. I'm really looking at Marcus Peters, though. He's going to be the reason if I'm true or false or not, because I can see Marcus Peters getting beat a few times. But as you can see, I sound very savvy at this. You want to know why I sound savvy? Because I watch Views from the 22.
man.
So there we are. So on the other subject, man, definitely just to piggyback on what Big Shot Ron says, you know, just support your owner. Just support what you like. Stop waiting for somebody to tell you that you should like it. Stop waiting for stuff to get hot, then you support it. If you like it, support it. You see this?
Exactly.
I love this hat. It don't gotta have a Nike sign on it for me to like this hat. This is made by one of my homies, Brian Smith. Shouts out to him with the Move Accordingly brand. This epitomizes who I am. I'm not for everybody. In a world where everybody's trying to market and get a little bit of everything, I'm one of them dudes who's making a stand and like, you may not like me, and that's fine, because I'm not for everybody. You know what I mean? So shouts out to him. Pass it over to Traveler.
Hey, man, my final thoughts about this is if you're a fan of a team, don't think that you're entitled to everybody and everything. Because then it comes emotion. If your entitlement causes emotion, get out of the game. Get out of the game. You don't need to support that team. You don't even need to watch that sport no more. Because if you feel that way, your emotion is going to take over. And then it's going to have you looking stupid on social media and really going to have you looking stupid in public. So, again, my final thought in this, if your entitlement causes you emotions, leave it alone, man. Jay Ham, you ready for us, Val?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's like this. As far as this hoop thing goes, I say the same thing pretty much in every episode. Enjoy the games. Enjoy the competition. Enjoy the action. Enjoy trolling. Have fun with it. Relax. Take some of that fan pressure off of you, because at the end of it, you don't get no free apparel. You ain't get no bonuses. You're not getting no incentives. Matter of fact, they still charging your punk ass to come to the game. Forgive me for that, but it's still what it is. They still charging you just to come to the game, you know. So enjoy the ones that you like, man, and root against the ones that you don't. So kind of goes right into the whole, you know, with the Super Bowl today. Saw a whole lot of people, you know, I ain't really watching the Super Bowl. I ain't really interested. Shut up. You going to a party. You going to do something. You going to have it on wherever you at. You going to, you know, if they got Rotel at the spot, you going to come through. You going to get you some Rotel, some wings, some meatballs, spinach dip, you know, a little punch, whatever the case may be. You know, you might get lucky you ran across a Ham's homemade tray at the set. So if that be the case, enjoy yourself all the way with it, fully. I don't know what's up with the video. My camera over here tripping again. However, but y'all can hear me, so that's cool. As far as the game itself goes, the slogan, man, no beef, no Lombardi. It's just that simple. Shefty came up with that. You know what I'm saying? What was that? A year or two ago, whatever. You can't win that war in the trenches with the big men, with the big cats, with the big dogs. If 99 and 93 for the Rams today can get to 12, they going to Disney World, baby. That's just that simple. You know what I'm saying? So, do they still even do that Hulk ass Disney commercial for the Super Bowl MVP?
Yeah, they do. They do.
They did it last year with Nick Foles.
Well, you know, some years they let some guys do it. Like when Ray won Super Bowl MVP, they had Trent Dilfer talking about he going to Disney World.
Yeah, man, they ain't want Ray to live, man. They ain't want him shine.
But neither here nor there, man. Today, tomorrow with hoops, today with the Super Bowl. Enjoy the action, man. That's what it's all about. That's the fun part of being a fan. That's what brought us out here together. Just the enjoyment of the game itself, first and foremost. That's all I got for it, man.
And there you
Take
have
us
it.
home, big shot.
And there you have it. Remember, 94feetoflife.com. The site revamp is on the way. Facebook group, 94 Feet of Life. Facebook fan page, 94 Feet of Life. Join us, man. Public group. Open to anybody. You got hoop thoughts, whether you high school, whether you college. Hell, even if you your local high school team. You know, we talk that too. So you got thoughts on us? Join us, man. We open to everybody, all fans of all backgrounds. This is basketball for the people, by the people. We out.